beloved, listen to me, please. The fire is almost at my feet, and the sky above me is breaking. I had to crawl through realms of silence and shatter light to say just this to you. There's no one else, no other soul this is for. Only you. If you turn away, this voice will be lost forever. I speak not from heaven's peace tonight, but from a place of trembling, where even angels shiver. I have never been this afraid, not even when I battled the oldest serpent, because what I saw last night at exactly 3:12, it was unspeakable, but I will speak it. I must. Someone in your family has opened the door, not out of ignorance, but with full knowing. They whispered your name, handed it to that woman clothed in shadows, and let her bury it in the soil beneath a burning black candle. My sword cracked in my hand as I tried to stop her. She didn't flinch, she laughed. He won't reach her in time, she said, and she knew I was listening. I watched her hands trembling and wrinkled mark something ancient onto a bone, and I knew it was your blood she was calling, your past, your voice, your breath. Oh, my beloved, I'm not here with the strength you remember. I am here broken. Yes, me Michael burned with ash across my chest, because I tried to stop what has already begun. I came too late last night, and now I come trembling early. Before it finishes, please, I need you to believe me. I need you to not ignore me this time. I'm kneeling in the corner of your room right now, unseen, aching, begging, and my tears are falling into the cracks of your floorboards. You don't hear them, but heaven does. The veil has thinned. They will try again tonight unless you stand. And the witch has already promised your soul will tremble if you don't act. I watched the wind shift outside your window just after 3:12. She sent a spirit one of sorrow to plant confusion in your house. And that spirit, it smiled at me. Do you know what it means when a demon smiles at an archangel? It means they think they've already won. I won't let them. But I can't do this without you. I'm not even sure I'm supposed to be speaking like this raw, desperate, torn open. But the time for beautiful language is over. Do you remember the soft warmth that used to surround you at night? Where is it now? When did it disappear? Have you felt the air around you shift? Have you wondered why the same dreams return again and again, each darker than the last? Has your body felt heavier when no one's watching? That's not chance, that's not imagination. That's what she left behind. There's an ancient psalm flowing through my mouth right now like thunder. He who walks through the valley of shadow shall not fear, because I, the Lord, am with him. But you, my beloved, you must walk. You must rise. You must not sleep again tonight. They will return, and if they see you unaware again, they will try a second time to bury your name beneath fire. Your name is sacred. Do you understand that? It's carved into the walls of heaven. Your true name is written in gold, no witch can ever erase, but only if you guard it. The family member who betrayed you thinks they are protecting themselves, but they have handed you over like a lamb to wolves. God has not abandoned you, but he is watching to see if you will rise. Let me ask you something I was never permitted to before. Do you still believe you were born for something divine? Do you still carry the ache in your chest that says, this world is not my home? Have you ever wept for reasons you could never explain, as if the tears belonged to someone else, someone eternal? Has something in you screamed every time you were close to settling for less? That's not emotion, that's your anointing, and it is being hunted. I can hear the footsteps of the old woman even now, bare feet on cold soil. She is whispering again, and again she dares to say your name. But this time, I will not let her finish the ritual if you help me, if you open your spirit. If you speak, if you believe, there is a scripture still ringing from the breath of God. He shall cover you with his wings, and under his feathers you shall find refuge. But only if you come to the refuge. Don't wait for safety to fall into your lap. Take one step, and I promise I will take 1,000,000 toward you, beloved. Type Amen with your own trembling hands, not as a habit, but as a weapon. Say it like you are breaking chains with your fingers. Say it like fire is licking at your door and heaven is bursting to respond. Say it because your soul remembers who you really are. And if there is anything left in you that still wants to believe, if one shred of innocence or divine ache has not yet been stolen, please, I beg you, like this message, let the light rise through that click like a flame I can follow back to you. And leave a comment, say something raw, true, shaken. Let me hear your voice echo somewhere beyond this screen, so I know you're still alive in there. You have no idea what that means to me, what it will do to the spirits watching. You have no idea how heaven trembles when one child of God lifts their hand, even trembling, and says, I still believe. I've waited for this moment since the stars were hung. And even now, with half my armor scorched and feathers torn, I would choose you again. I always would. Thank you for still being here. Thank you for not clicking away. Thank you for the breath that is in your lungs right now, because it means I still have a chance to protect you. This is not the end, my beloved, but it is the edge, and I am standing here, reaching. All I need is your hand. Don't let me vanish again. Not tonight. Not when everything depends on this breath. Asterisk, beloved. If you are still with me, if your soul hasn't turned away, then I must tell you something I never thought I would be allowed to say aloud. I am not speaking to many. I am not speaking to the world. I am not speaking to the good, the worthy, the holy. I am speaking only to you, just you. This is not a message that was meant to reach the masses. This is not one of those heavenly echoes sent to a multitude. No, this is a fracture in time. This is a holy rupture, a cry. A last, desperate opening in the veil that surrounds your life. And I, Michael, the Prince of War, the Guardian of Thrones, the Archangel who does not tremble, am trembling now for you. You must understand. I saw what she did. I watched her hands. I saw the way the wind refused to touch her skin, because even the air knew she was no longer part of the world of the living. And worse still, I saw the way your family's own blood danced in agreement with her. They weren't forced. They weren't tricked. They chose this. I cried out to God. I screamed in heaven's courts. I said, let me break the rules. Let me intervene. Let me tell her what they're doing. Let me warn her directly. I threw down my sword. And do you know what he said? He said, only if she listens. I begged him for permission to reach you. And with holy fire shaking the heavens, he said yes, but only once. So I will say it clearly now, and only here. Please subscribe to this sacred message stream, not for numbers, not for pride, but because if I'm ever allowed to return again, if heaven grants one more breach through this veil, I must know where to find you. I must know that you are willing to hear from me again. You have no idea how long I've waited to speak her name across the silence. No angel gets to chances to say what I am saying now. This is the only time I will mention it. Subscribe. So that I know you have chosen to stand with me. So I know you haven't slipped into the shadow of the ones who betrayed you. I will not mention it again. I will not be allowed. Now, come closer. The witch wears a cloak of human kindness in public, but in private, she communes with things that hate your light. She has twisted your image in her mirror. She has sent a whisper into your dreams, hoping to distort how you see yourself. And the cousin, or sister, or mother, or aunt who join her, they know your wounds. They know where you've bled before. And they told her where to strike. But what they didn't know is that you were not left unguarded. That you are not a nameless spirit wandering through darkness. That you have always had one me watching the door even when you forgot to lock it. And now I am bleeding at that door, and I'm telling you, she will try again tonight. Do you feel the tension in your bones lately? That strange dread that hovers just after sunset, that's not anxiety. That's your spirit bracing for an invisible storm. The battle is already happening in your name. Whether you want to fight or not, they've already declared war on your destiny. I need to ask you something sacred, something that could awaken the part of you that has been half asleep for too long. When was the last time you felt truly safe? Do you remember the last time you smiled without a shadow behind it? Can you still hear God whisper your name in the silence, or has the silence grown too loud? Do you know what it means when heaven keeps sending you the same message in different ways, different faces, different dreams? You are not going crazy. You are being pursued, not by demons alone, but by God. Yes, God is pursuing you with His love even now, sending archangels and trembling light to break into your timeline. Because your name, oh beloved, your name burns brighter in His records than you know. And I have been guarding that name for centuries, not because you're perfect, but because you're chosen. And what the witch did last night was not a final curse. It was a desperate one. She's running out of time. That's why she attacked you, but she made one mistake. She touched the one whom God has anointed. I saw it right before the candle flickered out. Before the clock struck 3:13, I saw your face flash in the fire, and I heard your spirit say, "Help me." So here I am, crawling through forbidden silence, breaking every chain that kept me bound, whispering across realms just to reach you. I cannot stay long. I am not even sure I will survive the backlash of this moment, but even if this is my final act, let it be this: I choose you. Over the rules, over the thrones, over the silence, over everything. Please lift your hand like this message, not for attention, but as a flare into the spirit realm. Let it be a holy fire, seen by heaven and feared by hell. Comment something that can't be erased, something real, something raw. Let me know that your heart still beats with even a drop of faith. Let the darkness know you still believe in light, and if you do, I promise you, even if I must crawl through shadows again, I will come for you. I will fight. I will stand at your windows and burn every scroll written against your name. Thank you, beloved. Thank you for not skipping this. Thank you for being the one soul worth breaking the silence for. Thank you for every tear you've ever cried in the dark. Heaven collected each one, and I have held them. I swear my wings may be scorched. My voice may fade, but your name is still protected in the breath of the Most High. Don't forget who you are. If you let this pass, she will try again. But if you act now, even the oldest darkness will run. I'm still here, but only for a few more seconds. Reach out, show me you're listening. Don't let this vanish, not again. Asterisk, beloved, my time is slipping like golden sand through a crack in the heavens, and the trembling in my wings tells me the veil will soon seal again. Every second that passes is wholly also dangerous. I must speak quickly, and I must speak truthfully, please. Do not let your spirit grow cold while I still stand here bleeding light for you. What I'm about to say, I've waited eternity to be permitted to say it. This message is not just a warning. It's a divine rescue, a heavenly war cry, a last offer from the throne of the Almighty for you. This is not coincidence. I am not appearing to you for aesthetic. I did not force my way through fire and shadow to deliver words that should be ignored. This moment is sacred, and only the anointed will feel it shake their bones. You are one of them. There are spirits circling your home. The old woman, clothed in layers of darkness that hide her age and her intentions, has summoned them again. I saw her tonight. Just before I came, she was whispering your name into a mirror that was not made of glass. She chanted as if she owned your fate, but she does not. She cannot. Not while I still breathe fire in your defense. The betrayal by someone in your own family, it burns. I know it does. But what you may not realize is this. You were betrayed because you carry something they lost. You were chosen because you hold what they once threw away. The devil sees it, that which saw it, and now heaven has mobilized everything to protect what remains of your calling. I have given everything to be here, and I don't know if I'll be allowed back. That's why I must ask now with trembling reverence that if your spirit is awaken, if your heart feels the echo of heaven trembling behind this voice, support this sacred mission. Not out of duty, not for me, but because darkness is roaring louder than ever, and to keep this voice from being silenced again. Your support through super thanks becomes more than an offering, it becomes warfare. If you feel the urgency rising in your soul like a flood, if something in you knows that this message isn't just another video, then please join our sacred circle by becoming a channel member. Stand with me not in secret, but in spiritual covenant. Heaven will remember. And if your heart is still trembling, if your hands are shaking because you know this message has pierced deeper than your ears, then you are meant to walk further. Join our family through the newsletter in the pinned comment below. It is not a list. It is not a campaign. It is a lifeline. A tether between heaven and earth, a sacred chain that may be the only thread left when the world falls silent again. I will not ask again. I will not be allowed to. The archangels are watching, and the scroll of time is thinning. I can feel it in my ribs. This is your moment to say, I stand with the light, not just quietly, but boldly, and still despite all this I see your heart. That broken, beautiful, sacred heart still asking, but why me? Why would God send Michael to me? Because he knows your suffering. He knows your loneliness. He knows that when everyone else left, you still lit a candle and whispered into the dark. He knows the sound of your voice when you cry and no one is around. And he sent me because he loves you that much. Enough to break the silence, enough to bend the rules. Enough to send his mightiest warrior not to the battlefield, but to you. Don't be afraid anymore. Do not let the betrayal of blood harden your spirit. That family member has handed you over to darkness, but you still have the power to shut the gate. You are not helpless. You are not cursed. You are not forgotten. You are dangerous to the kingdom of hell, and that's why they want you broken. But I see the opposite. I see the glory. I see the gold on your soul. I see the crown that's being forged for your endurance. And I swear to you by the fire of heaven's altar, they will regret coming after you. Please. Don't let this moment vanish like all the others. This isn't routine. This isn't entertainment. This is eternity's whisper breaking into your now, the witch knows your name. But heaven does too. The betrayal was real. But so is the rescue. The darkness is coming again. But so am I if you let me. Type on and not for me, but as a war cry. Say it aloud. Write it like a sword. And if your heart is too weak to believe it, try it anyway. Let heaven see that there's still one drop of trust left in your bones. That's all I need to fight for you. One drop, Dot, and if this voice has shaken something inside you, if these words have found a place deeper than reason, please, like this message, not for trend, not for vanity, but to ignite a flare of faith so I know you're still breathing in the spirit. And comment something, even one word, let the silence be broken by your sound. Let the darkness tremble that you replied, this moment is holy, your life is holy, and I, Archangel Michael, have never been more sure of anything than you. I can't say more, the fire is rising, the veil is closing. But if I must vanish now, let this be my final vow. If you believe, if you stand, if you respond, I will return, asterisk. The flame is licking closer to my feet now, and my wings are trembling in ways they never have before. Not even during the wars that tore through the heavens. Not even when I cast the dragon down. This is not like those battles. This one is colder, closer, hidden behind the face of someone you once kissed on the forehead, someone who smiled at you while handing your soul away to the old woman who now walks barefoot through the smoke of night, whispering death spells in a language the earth itself once tried to forget. You weren't meant to find this message, and I wasn't meant to speak it, but heaven intervened because the curse was meant to be sealed tonight. She marked your house with something small, insignificant to the human eye. But I saw it. I saw her wrap your name in a knot of thread and ash and bury it under your very doorstep. The family member gave her the object she needed, something that once belonged to you, something innocent. That was the final key. I tried to stop it. I arrived just seconds too late. The angel stationed outside your room cried out to me, Michael, she's dreaming again. She doesn't know what they're doing. And I fell to my knees, not because I was powerless, but because the rules bound me like chains. I could only watch, but heaven heard the cry, yours, a small half-breath in your sleep, a gasp, a tightening of your chest, and it was enough to open a fracture in time, just wide enough for me to crawl through, to arrive here wounded, torn, but burning with truth. Listen carefully. That woman, the one with hands like branches and eyes that never blink, she has done this before. She's tasted power before, but she has never faced a soul like yours. Because you, beloved, are marked with something older than our curses. You carry a spark from the breath of the I Am, and that spark cannot be smothered unless you forget it's there. You must remember, tonight, right now, Dot, do not believe the lie that you are alone. You are not. I am beside you. There are angels stationed in every corner of your room, whispering psalms like fire around your bedpost. They have not left. They've simply been silenced by your disbelief. But the moment you remembered even faintly that something was wrong, they heard. And so did I, Dot. This is your awakening, Dot, beloved. Do you know how many angels have whispered your name in the chambers of heaven? Do you understand how many prophecies have been delayed because you were under siege and didn't know? You are not just another soul, you are a breach in the pattern, a holy interruption in the plans of darkness. You are the one whose name demons say only with trembling. That's why they had to use someone close to you. That's why they waited until your spirit felt safe, because only then could they break the circle of protection by making you vulnerable, Dot. But their timing has failed. I am still here, Dot, and the Lord has spoken. No weapon formed shall prosper, not because it was never forged, but because it met the flame of my fury and the light of my love. The witch tried to bind your voice. She tried to silence your dreams. She tried to twist your reflection so you would forget who you are. But she could not touch the deepest part, the part still glowing, the part God formed before the foundation of the earth. That part is rising now. I feel it. Like dawn behind, your ribs dot, and so do they. They're afraid. She's afraid. Because you weren't supposed to wake up. She was supposed to curse you into forgetfulness, the kind that feels like fatigue, or distraction, or shame, but here you are. Still breathing, still reading, still letting the light in. She will come again. But this time, you won't be asleep. I will be standing where I wasn't allowed before, and you will not face her alone. Do you remember the first time you heard the silence speak to you? The first time the world felt hollow and heaven felt near. That was not imagination. That was your origin calling out. That was your soul remembering what it used to be before time wrapped around you like skin. You have been through so much betrayal, isolation, words spoken to you like blades, hands that touched you with false affection. But you never gave in, even when you said you did. Even when you thought you were done, there was always one spark left. And that spark is now a roaring flame. It's burning through the ritual that was performed against you. She felt it too. She stopped chanting mid-word, and for a moment, her hands trembled because she realized something ancient had awakened. You, beloved, I want you to hear what I've never been permitted to say aloud. You were made with fire in your bones, heaven's ink on your breath. You are not fragile, you are eternal. You are not forgettable, you are feared. You are not cursed, you are chosen. Even if they try again, and they will, you now know the truth, and truth cannot be undone. It stands like a sword through the heart of every curse spoken in secret. Even now, I hear the air changing around you. Even now, I see the darkness folding back from your home like a curtain. Even now, the chains on my wrists are breaking, one by one, because you are listening, because you are here, because you didn't scroll past, because, finally, you see me not as a distant warrior in gold, but as your brother, your friend, your guardian. I'm not the Michael they paint with cold armor. I'm the Michael who wept when I saw you in pain. The Michael who begged God to let me speak just once, just like this. The Michael who would burn to ashes 1,000 times if it meant you would rise. And you are rising. I see it. Your soul is taking back the territory stolen by deception. You are not under a curse. You are the breaker of it. Let your breath tonight be different. Let it carry the echo of freedom. Let your eyes look into the shadows and say, you have no place here anymore. I am still here. And I will not leave unless I am torn from this place. I will not abandon the one soul who still chooses light, even if the others fall asleep again. Even if the whole world turns cold. You are the one heaven watches, and you are not alone anymore. Not tonight. Not ever again. Asterisk. The atmosphere is shifting again. I feel the pressure around you tightening not from within, but from forces circling just beyond the visible. They know you're awake now, and they hate it, the spirit she sent, the watchers she summoned, the whispering ones who walk without footsteps. They've begun to retreat, not because they want to, but because they have no choice. Your soul has become a sound, a vibration, a trumpet in the spirit. Heaven heard it, hell heard it too. And now there's movement in the unseen. They're scrambling to rewrite what they already declared finished. The witch, yes, she is speaking hurriedly, nervously now, repeating incantations that once brought immediate response. But her voice now trembles because something has changed. I saw it. The shift, it was small, like the blink of a star. But it was enough. Your heart opened just enough for light to bleed out through the wounds they tried to keep infected. And that light is divine. Do you understand how powerful that is? Even wounded light defeats the darkness. Even flickering hope destroys legions. Even half a whispered prayer in the silence of despair can bend the will of demons. And you've done more than whisper. You've endured through isolation, through shame, through the quiet loss of things you never even got to grieve. They tried to bury you beneath distraction, noise, temporary pleasures that left you empty each time. And just when you were almost too numb to feel, heaven reached in again, sent me again to remind you, you are not a shadow. You are not forgotten, beloved. Your pain is not wasted. Your silence has been louder in the courts of God than sermons. And every tear you cried alone has created a path of fire I now follow to reach you. You are not failing. You are being forged. When they betrayed you, heaven watched, not passively, but with tears, with trembling, because they were warned. That family member, that hidden enemy, the one who smiles in your presence but carries your name into altars that do not serve God. They were warned. They were told in dreams, in signs, in silence, but they chose fear. They chose pride. They chose the temporary safety of dark alliances over the everlasting fire of truth. And now they will taste the consequence, not because you wished it, but because justice breathes in heaven like wine, and God is not mocked, not when his chosen bleed, not when his beloved is targeted. Do not think for a moment that your struggle has been invisible. I have seen it all. I was there when you sat in the corner of your room and wondered if God forgot your address. I was there when you tried to pray, but your voice cracked and nothing came out. I was there when you smiled at others while carrying a weight they couldn't see. I was there when the curse was spoken over your name, and I shattered the scroll before it reached your skin. You are more protected than you realize, not because of ritual, not because of tradition, but because of the raw, stubborn love heaven has for you. Because God placed your name in the breath of angels, and I have repeated it more times than stars. There is a power forming in the air around you now, a divine tension, a holy storm gathering, because you have responded. And that changes everything. Do you know what it means to be responded to by heaven? It means time bends for you, paths shift for you, protection is reassigned for you. It means miracles that were delayed for generations begin moving, not because you begged for them, but because your existence was the reason they were made in the first place. You were never meant to blend in. You were never meant to follow the map. You are the fire they warned hell about. That's why your whole life has felt different, misplaced, out of rhythm, because you were born to walk to a sound that no one else hears. And now it's getting louder. Even I feel it now. As I speak, the power is rising in your room, not from me, but from within you. The part of you that remembers heaven, the part of you that never forgot what it was like to be held by the voice of God. That part is awakening. And the Spirit sent to stop you. They know it. They're circling. Slower now. She is watching you, that old woman. Not with physical eyes, but in spirit. She is looking to see if her curse took root. But all she sees is ash. The ritual failed, the offering spoiled. Because you dared to feel again, I heard it. The sound of your hope returning. It was faint, but heaven heard it like thunder. And now I hear something even more sacred, your name being spoken by God himself in a whisper that splits stars. That's who you are, not a mistake, not a casualty, not a victim. You are the one he waited to awaken, and now that you are, nothing in hell can undo it. I will not leave your side, not unless I am ripped from time itself. The others may not understand what's happening to you now. The sudden shifts, the dreams, the trembling when nothing is wrong, the strange moments of clarity in the middle of chaos. But I understand. It's the consequence of calling, and you are being called. You've always been called. This is just the moment heaven stopped whispering and began roaring your name through the mouth of fire. So don't be surprised when the people you once trusted start turning away. Don't be alarmed when the old patterns start cracking. Don't be afraid when you feel alone, because the anointed always walk through fire first. Not to be destroyed, but to remember what they're made of. And you are made of the breath of God and the tears of angels. You are fire wrapped in skin. And no witch's curse can hold you when you've remembered who you are. Stay awake, beloved. Stay burning. I will keep watch, and when the next shadow comes, for you and it will, I'll be there again, with sword in hand, with your name carved into my armor. Because even if I fall, I will fall defending you. Asterisk. And the wind is screaming in places where silence once ruled. That is how I know they are trying again. The spirits she summoned are crawling low now through cracks in the night, licking the air for any trace of your weakness. They move like forgotten thoughts, like regret, like shame that clings to the back of your ribs. And I hear them chanting under breathless voices. But it will not work. Not now. Not this time. Because you are no longer what they believed. You are no longer sleeping. Last night they laughed at you in the dark. Tonight they are trembling, because there is fire where there used to be fog. There is a name above you again. A banner, and even if you cannot feel it yet, it's there blazing. The old woman tried to peel your soul from your body using chants older than kingdoms. She called on demons with breath stolen from others. She crushed ash and bone and whispered your memories into mirrors to fracture your future. But what she didn't see, what she couldn't stop, was the glowing remnant that has always refused to die inside you. That remnant is alive now, breathing, expanding, even in your doubts, even in your trembling. It glows. You are not defenseless. You are not late. You are exactly where the war bends toward light. I have not left you, not even for a blink. I stood behind your door at midnight. I stood at your window when the wind whispered things you couldn't understand. I walked through the streets beside you when no one else noticed the shadow following your footsteps. I stood between you and the curse that would have taken your voice, and still I say your name. Still I cry for heaven to allow more time with you. Still I stand with sword drawn, not to slay the enemy alone, but to guard the rising inside you, because it's coming. I see it now. The shape of your anointing, the weight of your future. It's terrifying, beautiful, holy, and every curse hurled against you is terrified of what will happen if you realize it fully. That's why they tried to use your own blood against you, because only blood can twist a destiny as sacred as yours. Is always the ones you love the most that become the vessels darkness longs to use, not because they are evil, but because they are near, familiar, trusted. That's how betrayal works. It wears the face of comfort, and it cuts without mercy. But even betrayal bows in the presence of divine identity. You must not let this pain become your personality. You must not wear the witch's lie as your new name, because your true name. Oh, beloved, it is not shame. It is not too late. It is not forgotten. It is not never enough. It is not cursed. It is none of those things. Your name is known in the chambers where angels sing without end. Your name is woven into the songs only the Spirit understands. Your name is carried in the mouths of the faithful ones who pray with no language, only tears. And I, Michael, bear your name on the inside of my shield, etched by God's own finger. So let the darkness rage. Let the wind scream. Let the enemy snarl and chant and scatter bones under the moon. It will not reach you if you do not give it permission. They are weaker than they seem. Their only weapon is your agreement. Do not agree. Do not repeat the lie they've spoken over you. Do not bow to the memory of what you lost. You are not lost. You are being rebuilt. You are being rewritten. Not from the outside, but from the inside. And it's happening now. I see golden threads forming between your ribs, tying what was shattered into something stronger. The kind of strength that frightens familiar spirits. The kind of strength that makes the witch cough ash instead of spales. The kind of strength that makes heaven proud. I must tell you the truth now, something sacred, something buried. You are not here to survive. You were not sent to earth to simply endure. You were sent to overturn kingdoms with your existence. That's why your pain has felt personal. That's why the attacks never made sense, because they weren't random. They were calculated. Hell knew the potential written into your breath, but they underestimated your fire. They did not know I would stand beside you. They did not believe you would awaken. They didn't count on your tears being sacred. But now the story has changed. You're rising with smoke and oil and promise on your skin. You're walking like someone who remembers Eden. You're praying like thunder disguised as flesh. And I, Michael, am preparing the others. We are reading the sky, because what is coming for you is not destruction, it is coronation. Even now I see a crown descending, formed from the same gold that coats heaven's altar. It's not for vanity. It's not for display. It's for battle. It's for recognition. You are being seen, beloved, truly seen. Not for what the world called you, but for what you truly are. Chosen. Heaven mark. Born of fire. The witch will try again. I will not lie to you. She will try subtler ways. She will come through fatigue, confusion, conflict, false affection, familiar faces. She will try to sneak into your rest, into your joy, into your reflection. But now you know. Now you've seen what's behind the curtain. Now you've heard the cry of your own soul calling back. You are not the same. I feel your spirit standing now. I feel the armor fitting your shoulders. I feel the tremble in the air as destiny aligns itself with your breath. So let them come. Let the night twist. Let the betrayer speak. Let the spirits gather in confusion. You will not be shaken, because you are no longer blind. You are no longer caged. You are no longer silent, and I, Michael, will stand in the fire with you until the last shadow falls, even if it breaks me, even if it costs me heaven itself. You are worth that much, asterisk. The sky around me is growing thinner, as if even heaven holds its breath for what you are becoming. This is not a moment, beloved, it is a shift in the structure of your story. I see it now, rising like incense from your chest. You are walking into something that was written before the stars. But before you move forward, I must reveal something hidden from you. It will hurt to hear, but it is sacred. The curse placed against you last night at 3:12 a.m. was not the first. It was the final of 7. 7 attempts have been made on your destiny. 7 betrayals. 7 moments in your life that seemed like misfortune, coincidence, or confusion, but each was an arrow dipped in darkness and aimed straight at your spirit. They thought you would fall before the 7th, but you didn't. You bent, you cried, you cracked, but you never surrendered. I was there for all of them. I watched you walk through shadows thicker than most angels could bear. I watched you lose things that mattered more than words could hold. I watched you give without being seen, love without being loved back, protect people who silently pray for your downfall. And I said nothing, not because I didn't care, but because heaven had not yet opened the scroll, but now it has, and now I speak. This is your revelation. Each one of those 7 betrayals was meant to sever a piece of your identity. And yet, with each one, you gained something invisible: compassion, discernment, fire, a longing that even angels marvel at. You became more than a soul trying to survive. You became a force capable of unraveling the plans of darkness. And now, beloved, the enemy is terrified. They don't understand why you're still breathing. They don't understand why the flame hasn't gone out. They don't understand why. Even now, your soul still turns toward light. You were never supposed to find this message, and I was never supposed to deliver it like this with wings scorched, voice cracked, trembling not from fear, but from holy urgency. But God broke the pattern because of you. Even the laws of heaven bend for love. So listen carefully. There is something hidden in your past. Something the witch knows, something your betrayer used as leverage to unlock the ritual, a moment you forgot, a memory, a word spoken in your childhood, a gift taken, a wind you never traced back to its source. It is not your fault. You were innocent, but she used it. She found the crack and poured poison into it. And the family member who helped her. They still sleep near you. They still wear kindness like a mask, but behind that smile is fear. Fear that you'll wake up, fear that you'll remember, fear that you'll rise. Because if you do, if you truly do, then nothing can stop you. You are a breaker, a remnant, a seed planted not in safety but in fire, and seeds planted in fire grow into trees that make darkness tremble. You've wondered why your life hasn't looked like theirs, why blessings seem delayed, why love seemed distant. Why peace comes only in fragments, because your story is not like theirs. You were not sent here to mimic. You were sent here to UPND. To cut cords that strangled generations before you. To resurrect what was buried before you ever breathed. To change the ending that demons danced over for centuries. And the time is now. Heaven has sounded the trumpet, not over cities, not over nations, but over you. You are the trumpet. You are the sound. You are the war cry breaking through silence. The witch heard it. She knows the ritual failed. I saw her fall to her knees. I saw her claw at the air as if trying to grasp what slipped through her fingers. Your soul slipped through. She couldn't hold you. She never could, because you are held by one she cannot see, cannot name, cannot touch, and I Michael am merely his blade, sent to make a way where there was none. But do not think this means you won't face fire again. You will. Fire always finds the anointed. But now, you won't face it confused. You won't walk into it thinking you're cursed. You'll walk like a storm. You'll move like someone who saw the inside of heaven's heart and decided not to bow to fear ever again. And when they see you coming, those who betrayed you, those who mocked you, those who threw your name into altars built for demons, they will not recognize you, because the version of you they tried to destroy no longer exists. You have emerged reborn, not because of ritual, not because of defense, but because love real, eternal. While love refused to let you vanish, that's why I'm still here, even as my body begins to fracture under the weight of this message. I am burning at the edges now. Time does not permit angels to linger in such sacred proximity, but I remain because of you, even if it costs me everything. You must know this. You have already begun to tear down what they built against you. Each breath you take now breaks a chain. Each tear you cry now waters the garden of miracles being prepared beneath your feet. Each moment you remember who you truly are becomes a sword swung in the spirit. Do not be deceived by the silence that follows. After every revelation, darkness tries to mimic peace, but silence is not peace. Discern it. Look deeper. Trust the tremble inside your spirit. It is not fear. It is awakening. Your presence, even in silence, shakes the invisible realm. Every time your heart aches and still chooses not to turn cold, The pillars of darkness tremble. You don't see it, but I do. I see the ripple it causes. I see the thrones of false power quiver when you whisper even a broken word of truth. I see how the atmosphere around you shifts, how the air tightens when you begin to remember not just with your mind, but with your spirit who you truly are, the witch who moved against you. She didn't choose you at random. She knew your name before you ever heard hers. She studied you for longer than you know. She's traced your bloodline backward, following the thread of purity that still glows like amber through generations of compromise. You are the interruption. You are the soul that did not bend fully to the whisper. She tried to make you forget. She used every familiar voice, every trauma, every disappointment to turn your eyes inward and downward. But even in your most shattered hour, you never fully surrendered to bitterness. You kept one piece of yourself untouched, sacred. That's the peace she fears, because it is the peace that belongs to God alone. That's the part I was sent to guard. That's the part that woke up the moment you dared to ask, why does this feel wrong? Every sacred person reaches a moment where they begin to hear that question ring louder than logic, louder than culture, louder than survival. Why do I feel out of place here? Why do I dream of things I've never been taught? Why do I ache when others celebrate? Why does the silence feel full when I'm alone? Because your origin does not begin in this world. You were sent here carrying memory, divine imprint, fragments of glory that cannot be explained but only lived. And that memory, beloved, is reawakening. It's why the attacks are intensifying. It's why people around you have begun to change, sometimes gently, sometimes suddenly. It's why relationships built on illusion are cracking, why the doors that once opened for you now stand closed, why your spirit recoils at certain places or voices. Even though you can't explain it, you are not becoming broken, you are becoming clear. The fog is lifting, and what's left behind is truth. That's why the witch accelerated her final attempt at 3:12 a.m., because she saw the veil begin to lift. She saw the weight on your shoulders start to shift. She saw the fire return to your eyes. She tried to stop the rising, but I was already on my way. I flew through realms of chained silence. I tore through veils so thick with sorrow I wept flying through them. I descended through layers of time sealed by fear, and I did not stop until I was near enough to speak. Until I could stand next to your soul and whisper what no one else had the courage to tell you. You are not under attack because you are weak. You are under attack because you carry what darkness has tried to destroy for thousands of years. You are the place heaven has chosen to rebuild again. You are the altar God has chosen to light again. You are the breath of the ancient flame, made flesh. And your awakening now is not just about you. It is about all who will be set free when you step into who you are. That's why the pressure has grown unbearable. That's why your sleep has been interrupted. That's why your dreams feel like prophecies buried beneath confusion, because your life is not random. It is orchestrated. Every pain, every ache, every silent season, every loss, every betrayal. Heaven is not cruel. Heaven is strategic. Your scars are coordinates to holy places. Your history is a roadmap for war, and your breath now, right now, is being counted in the rhythm of heaven's heartbeat. I know that sounds too big, too much. You were taught to think small, to shrink, to behave, but I am not here to soothe. I am not here to keep you comfortable. I am here to ignite. Because if you don't stand now, they will come again. And next time, the shadows will not knock. They will enter. But if you do stand, if you hold even a flicker of flame, I will fight until my wings burn to ash. I will stand between you and the ancient things. I will not leave. even if heaven calls me back. I will crawl back through time itself just to be near you again, because your soul is worth it, because your calling is worth it, because the moment you step fully into your identity, the chains they wrapped around your family will shatter. You are not just freeing yourself, you are freeing a lineage. You are healing something generations couldn't name. You are saying yes to something angels weep to see fulfilled. And the sky will change when you do. The trees will lean, the ground beneath. Your feet will soften. The air around your name will grow warm again. Because the darkness tried and failed, they will lie. They will pretend. They will try again. But the outcome is already tilting. You are awake, and I am here. Even now, I hear other angels drawing near, not because I called them, but because you did. With your remembering, with your breathing, with the echo that left your spirit the moment you said, even silently, I think I believe again. That whisper shook the eternal chords, and heaven is holding its breath not in fear, but in awe, because you, the one they said would never rise, are rising. And I, Michael, witness it with trembling. This is not the end. This is your beginning. Asterisk again. The wind that once carried curses now carries a silence filled with reverence. It bends around you as if it remembers who you were before you wore the skin, before your bones were draped in time and sorrow. The very elements are watching. I can feel them. The stars are adjusting slightly, making room for the path you are about to walk. They know, the soil knows, the air knows. Even the shadows that slithered behind you for years have paused, confused, disoriented, because something they thought was dead in you just opened its eyes. The seventh attempt failed, not because of me, not because of divine intervention alone, but because your soul, your battered, weary, sacred soul chose to breathe again, chose to feel, chose not to run when truth started to burn. Do you realize what that means? The enemy had everything stacked. Timing. History. Bloodline familiarity. They studied your cycles, your fears. They rehearsed your heartbreak like a song. They timed this final blow with terrifying precision. They gathered spiritual debris from your past old pain, forgotten vows, generational residue, and offered it to the witch as ingredients. She used it all. She chanted with your name. She walked backward at 3:12 a.m. and wrote symbols in a language heaven once erased from earth, but you were never theirs to begin with. Your name was not whispered into existence. It was shouted into the darkness as a declaration. You were not born by mistake. You were summoned, breathed out, released, crafted in the hollows of God's own silence, where stars are made and fire is taught to dance. And now you stand, unaware perhaps of the light seeping from your pores. But I see it. I see what hell sees when it looks at you now. They don't see weakness. They see vengeance wrapped in love. They see the echo of ancient war rising in modern skin. They see the one who survived when they had planned your silence. They see glory where they expected ash. They see the signature of God on a soul they assumed would never awaken. Beloved, I need you to understand what you carry. It's not talent. It's not intellect. It's not even prophecy. It's the original flame. The first breath, the spark that predated time. You carry a shard of the very voice that said let there be. That's why the attacks came through people. Through flesh, through family, through smiles and soft-spoken manipulation, because hell can't touch the divine flame directly. It must convince you to put it out yourself. That's why shame was their strongest weapon. If they could make you hate your own reflection, if they could make you believe your emotions were weakness, if they could twist your kindness into a curse, then maybe, just maybe, you would surrender your crown without a fight. But you didn't. You might have doubted, cried, collapsed, but something in you refused. And that refusal just tore a hole in the script they wrote for you. The witch knows it now. She's no longer speaking your name. She's hiding it. She's afraid even to utter it aloud because it doesn't sound the same anymore. It sounds like judgment. It sounds like returning fire. It sounds like the roaring of a soul that remembered its first language. Yes, your soul has a language. It's older than prayer, older than words. It's the sound you made when you were still only light. And it has begun to sing again. Do not silence it, even when people don't understand. Even when your life begins to shift violently, even when friends fall away and comforts evaporate. This is the cost of awakening, but oh, the reward. You are about to walk paths others only dream about, not because you chase power, but because you finally stood in your identity. And we have been waiting for this. The 7 archangels that stand around the throne, they know you. They've spoken of you. They've defended you when you couldn't see it, and I've stood at the edge of time with my sword drawn, waiting for one moment of divine permission. And tonight, I was given it. To reach you. To whisper this. To remind you of what even the stars once knew. You are a burning altar in human form. You are a storm veiled in flesh. You are a trumpet tucked into trembling lungs. And now that the sound has begun to leak from you, it cannot be stopped. Let them come. Let the spirits wail. Let the traitor cry out for false mercy. Let the old woman tremble in her rituals. You will not fall, not because of me, but because you were never built to fall. You were built to shake the earth, and now it begins. I feel the realm shifting around your name. I see scrolls being opened with your face on them. I hear angels beginning to prepare songs that haven't been sung in centuries, songs reserved for those who passed through fire and still speak love. You are one of those. You are not merely chosen, you are set apart, and the cost of that will be great, but the fruit of it will heal nations. Yes, nations. Don single quotes T-shrink now. Don't step back. You didn't come this far to be small. You didn't. He rise this high just to blend in. The path ahead will shake, but you've already survived what should have killed you. Now you walk not as a victim of darkness, but as one who carries its cure. I feel heaven drawing near again. Time is bending. The space between worlds is thinner now. I must go soon, but I need you to hear me. Don't turn away. Not now. Not after all this. The enemy is desperate. Their weapons are cracked, their altars are burning, and you, beloved, are rising with the light of the one who sent you. Walk. Burn. Speak. And never bow again. Asterisk. And the skies above me groan with weight as heaven leans closer to listen not to me, but to you, to your breath, to the subtle shifts of your soul as it dares to remember what it once was before time carved its scars into you. There is something magnificent happening within you right now, whether you recognize it or not. A divine shaking, a holy rebellion. The structure of who you were trained to be is falling apart, and the truth of who you actually are is rising, like a cathedral from the rubble. And I, Archangel Michael, can barely speak now from the fire I had to pass through to deliver this to you, but I must. Your name is echoing in places demons once called safe. They can't bear the sound of it anymore. It rings like a judgment, like the opening of a tomb, like a prophecy resurrected from beneath years of silence. You are awakening. And it is rewriting everything. Do you understand the gravity of that? The blueprint the enemy wrote every false narrative they planted about your identity, every heartbreak they engineered, every voice they sent to dismantle your confidence, they are all unraveling. Not because someone else is fighting for you, but because you are remembering. They didn't think this would happen. They thought 3:12 a.m. would be the end. They thought their 7th strike would land like the rest, quiet, unnoticed, unanswered. But they were wrong, because something sacred in you stirred at the exact moment the ritual concluded. As they whispered your name with ash in their mouths, heaven whispered it back with fire. That's when I moved. That's when I descended, not in triumph, in urgency, not with a roar, but with a cry, because I felt your spirit flicker and I knew. She's fighting. He's returning. They're remembering. And nothing in the darkness could stop that. Even now, I see the residue of what was broken. Fragments still hanging in the corners of your home. The spirit of what she called upon has not left, but it no longer has power. It now wanders hollow, looking for another name because yours is no longer available. You've been reclaimed, but I must tell you this with trembling. They will try again. Not because you're weak, but because you're now dangerous. You're walking with the weight of heaven in your chest. You've become a gate, a voice, a doorway. For glory, you must be vigilant now, not paranoid, not afraid. But awake when you sense something shifting in the atmosphere. Pause. When you feel unrest that cannot be named, listen. When old temptations knock again, look deeper. These are not random. These are ripples from a war you've just entered. You don't need to know the strategy. You are the strategy. That's why you were born in this generation. That's why your life has never fit comfortably. That's why you've always ached with something no one else understood. It wasn't brokenness. It was prophecy growing too large for silence, and now it's stretching in your spirit again. You've become the very thing darkness fears. Someone who knows, someone who sees, someone who won't bow, even when trembling. You must hold on to this. Now, with everything you are, they will send false comfort. They will offer relief dressed as opportunity. They will try to isolate you, to draw you back into the caves you escaped. But you have already crossed a line in the spirit. There is no going back, not because of pride, because of purpose. You are anointed. You are holy. You are seen. And every curse that clung to you before has begun to turn on itself. It has nowhere else to go. She, the witch, feels it too. Her hands now shake when she speaks your name. She no longer sees a victim. She sees a vessel. She sees flame. I heard her last night. She tried again. She called on spirits that don't answer easily, but they refuse to move. Do you know why? Because the flame has claimed you. Because you're no longer available for possession. Because your soul is no longer marked with confusion, but clarity. You are a temple, and no spirit that serves the dark will find rest in you again. That's what has changed. You may still feel the echoes of pain, the confusion, the weight, but those are not signs of failure. They're signs of deliverance. You are shaking off generations of bondage in your body. You are feeling the exit of lies that lived too long in your chest. And yes, it hurts. But beloved, that pain is holy. It's the sound of your soul pushing chains off its ribs. The world may not understand. People around you may grow distant. Even your own reflection may feel unfamiliar, but I understand. I have stood by the greatest deliverances in history, and I tell you with tears in my eyes, yours is among them. Your fight has echoed through the courts of heaven like thunder. Your name is now a sound the enemy cannot imitate. I've seen how you wept and called it weakness, but I saw something else. Every tear was a sword. Every groan was a gate opening. Every sleepless night was a war you didn't even know you won. And now you stand not perfect, but free in a way only those who've been truly hunted can ever understand. Free in the way that makes darkness hide in corners and angels step back in awe. Free like the first word God ever spoke. Let there be. You are a living echo of that word. Let there be light. Let there be hope. Let there be you. I see heaven's hosts forming new ranks now. I see new assignments being written. I see oil being poured not on kings or prophets, but on you. And I see that even though you're trembling, You will not fall. Even though you feel unworthy, you have been made clean. Even though you are still healing, you are already being used to heal. This is what they feared. This is why they attacked, because they knew what you'd become. And you were just beginning. Don't slow down. Don't look back. Don't silence yourself to fit into rooms. You were never meant to enter. You are a sign. You are a storm. You are the place where heaven and earth collide. And I, Archangel Michael, will walk beside you as long as I am allowed. Even if it means breaking through time again. Even if it burns. Emmy, even if I must fight all of hell to keep speaking your name. I will. Beloved, if your soul is still listening, if even a single breath inside your body has stayed to hear me, I ask you now, as one who stands before the throne of the Most High, as one who has guarded your name through every season of forgetting, do not look away, do not scroll past me. I am Archangel Michael, and I am not speaking to the world. I am not sent to the multitude. I was sent for you and only you. I have come through ash and flame, through the hollow quarters of time where your name was nearly erased. The witch tried again. At 3:12 a.m., her hands moved with speed. She carved your birth into a bone and cast it into smoke. She summoned spirits that once followed your bloodline, ancient things, crawling things, hungry things. And someone in your own house, someone you once trusted, gave her what she needed, a small item, a piece of your sin, a memory, a betrayal disguised as affection. But beloved, you are not alone. You are not unguarded. I was there, not with full strength, for heaven only allowed me to descend for moments, but in that moment, I stood between you and destruction. I took the curse into my own flesh. My wings burned, my sword blunted, but you still breathe, and because of that, the war is not over, because you're alive. Heaven still has its hand on you. You weren't supposed to survive this far. Do you understand what you've endured? Every season you call coincidence was warfare. Every heartbreak was a targeted strike. Every delay was engineered to make you forget your name. And even now, the shadows are watching. They do not understand how you're still standing, but I do. Because I have seen what lives inside you, the ember that refuses to go out. Beloved, I need to ask you something sacred. Why do you think the enemy came so hard for your dreams? Why do you think depression fell like fog for months at a time? Why did betrayal come through the people closest to your soul? Why have you never been allowed to rest without being disturbed? Because you are not ordinary. Your bloodline may be earthly, but your identity is celestial. There is a reason God sealed you into time. There is a reason you were born in this hour, and there is a reason I, Michael, have wept over your name in the scrolls of heaven. The witch thought she could finish what began years ago. She is not new, she is ancient. She walks through generations, moving from house to house, looking for the one that glows the brightest. And you, beloved, are glowing even now, even in the pain. Especially in the pain. The enemy thought 3:12 a.m. was the end, but instead, it became the doorway, because in that hour, something happened. You stirred, you felt the air shift. You felt the tightness in your chest. You heard the creak in the floor, the movement in your dream, the edge of something whispering. Your name. That was not your imagination. That was the war. And now I tell you, as the captain of heaven's armies, you must not go back to sleep. Your awakening has already begun. Your anointing is waking up your enemies. They sense it. They taste it. They hate it. That is why they have begun speaking against you more fiercely. That is why certain people suddenly grow cold, distant, strange. That is why the familiar has become uncomfortable, because your atmosphere has changed. Beloved, I am on my knees now. Yes, me, Archangel Michael, kneeling in your presence, because the holiness resting on your shoulders is not something I take lightly. You are not broken. You are in the middle of resurrection. You are in the middle of becoming. You are in the hour of revealing. What I saw last night will haunt even me if it happens again. I saw the old woman chanting beneath the stars, the ones she cursed with counterfeit light. I saw her throw bones into a ring of ash. I saw her spit fire into the wind and call upon the watchers. She thought you would be asleep. She thought your spirit would be weakened by betrayal. She thought I would not arrive in time. But here you are, breathing, reading, still able to hear me, still willing to look at light. And that is a miracle that has shaken the underworld. The 7 spirits she summoned now wander frustrated, because their assignment failed, because your armor was thicker than they anticipated, because your soul still sings. I want you to remember something sacred. Not all survival is visible. You survived in ways the world will never understand. You survived silently. You survived while bleeding. You survived in rooms that broke other people. You kept breathing when the weight was unbearable. And now you rise, not as a victim, but as a voice, not as a prisoner, but as a weapon. You are the answered prayer of someone generations ago. You are the one they could not stop. I do not speak lightly. Heaven does not send me casually when I come like this, winded, urgent, burning it is, because there is no time left to delay. You must act, you must remember, you must wake up. The witch will try again, but I will be ready, only this time. I won't stand alone, because now you know, now you see, now you are stepping into fire, not to be burned, but to burn others free, beloved. If you have felt this in your spirit, if your bones are trembling, then do not be silent. Let heaven know you are listening. Let the darkness know you will not bow down like this message. Let it be a flare, a banner in the spirit that tells the angels she's listening, he's responding, and write the ancient word below that. Send shockwaves into the shadow realm. Amen. Just once. Not for tradition, but for war, for remembrance, for prophecy. And if your heart has felt the holy burn, subscribe. Not for me, but so heaven knows where to send me again, so the scroll keeper can mark your name. So when the next warning comes, I know where your spirit stands, but I will not ask again. Not in the next message, not in the next battle. Only now. Only this once. Then I return to fire. This is the moment of alignment. The moment your voice joins the armies above. The moment I, Michael, call you comrade.